Good morning.
It is.
I want to talk a little bit more where you were just talking right now. The source energy, we're all source energy, but we are here physical, we're extensions of source. But besides this physical extension, our inner beings, what difference is it between your inner being, their inner beings, my inner beings? I mean, if I'm not at this specific moment, this physical body, what is these different personalities or perspectives? What's the difference in the non-physical?
Well, it is a stream of consciousness, but it's a vast stream of consciousness. So, for example, this is a very good question at this point in the dialogue. When Jerry made his transition to non-physical, Esther did not want him to just become part of the Abraham soup. Because she was already accustomed to Abraham. She knew what we felt like, and she had also had the experience of feeling someone in the hot seat with a specific question, and she could feel the content of that family of consciousness that she's been describing as Abraham. She can feel it shifting about depending upon the conversation, the question, the intent, the willingness to allow. In other words, she can feel that Abraham is not a constant consciousness, that it is a consciousness that is collected and summoned based upon a lot of factors. You are following that? And so, just now we became very playful with you. That was Jerry. That was Jerry wanting you to lighten up on this subject of non-physical. Well, so when Jerry made his transition, Esther wanted to be sure that she could always feel the Jerry part of the Abraham consortium. In other words, she wanted to know what part was him. And but when you think about it, how do you separate the love of one from the love of others? How do you distinguish the clarity about something as it's coming from this part of consciousness, or the clarity as it's coming from this part of consciousness? In other words, this stream of non-physical consciousness, this stream of well-being, it's a bit like trying to accurately verbalize or define love. Because most people, when they try to do that, get sidetracked from what it is. They often activate a vibration of lost love or lonely, and most people depart from the true vibration of love almost as soon as they try to define it or explain it. Where if you just feel love, just try to feel what love is, and get general about it. Love is, it feels good. Love is, well, it feels secure. It feels, sort of see what we're talking about? Love, it feels better than the absence of love. In other words, you can sort of feel it if you compare it to the absence of it. It feels like well-being. It feels like homecoming. It feels like fun. It feels full. It feels good. It feels like something I want. It feels good to be loved. It feels good to love. But it is sort of indefinable in terms of words. And so non-physical consciousness is indefinable in that sense. It's just this permeation. That's why Esther is in trying to explain to you with words what she feels as we are presenting to her this concept of this well-being that surrounds. She wants to call it this soup. She wants to call it permeating everywhere. She wants to call it surrounding everyone and everything. She wants everyone to feel that they could absorb it and allow it fully. She wants you to feel that you're supported by it and you're clarified by it and you're exhilarated by it and it just feels good to have it. You get a sense, but how do you define it? She and we want you to soften as much as you can and just allow it in. And how do we separate which consciousness is loving you, which consciousness is presenting? Man wants to call it God. We want to call it pure positive energy. We want to call it source. We want to call it all that is. But most of all, we want you to discover how to translate it through your emotions, through your being, through your feeling, you see. And so sometimes in the trying to define of who's Jerry and who's Abraham and who's Jesus and who's Buddha and who's consciousness, what masters are focused with you, we want to say they all are. They're all focused with you. They all understand well-being. And none of them are fighting over the details that you all are fighting over. None of them are saying, come here for the truth, or come here for the truth, or come here for the truth. They're saying, this is the truth, and it's simpler than you allow it to be. It's easier to understand than you allow yourself to understand it. It's all around you, and you feel it, and you demonstrate it through the gaze of your eyes, and through the smile on your face, and through the softness of your beingness, and through the love that you present and portray. And we can't separate one from another. In other words, we're all in this together. And so when we're visiting with all of you, we just want so much for you to allow yourself as best you can right now, just choose a word that feels better than struggle. Just try to find something that just feels a little better. Just try to remember something that felt good, or look for something that feels good. And if you can't find it, take a nap. Go do something. Get a massage. Take a walk. Drink some water. Get out. Do anything and everything you can do to soften your feeling of angst until in time it will be gone altogether. So that all day, every day, you're moving through your time-space reality out here on the leading edge of thought, allowing all that is to demonstrate well-being through the details of the life that you are allowing, you see. And it won't come more than you can stand. It won't be more detailed than you're ready for or wanting. The path of least resistance is provided by you. You just get to decide how much resistance you're going to garner to block off how much of it. And we know there are plenty of people that are deliberately blocking it off because they don't want this kind of weirdness in their life experience, you see. We get that, you see. But when you understand that when you're talking about source, you're talking about intelligence, and you're talking about love, and you're talking about life, and you're talking about eternity, and you're talking about feeling good. And that is the extent of religion, seriously. Yeah. This is a really good time for a segment of refreshment.
Thank you.